Welcome, everyone, to the Healthy Habit Podcast, episode number 217. And I'm your host, Dr. Dayon of Healthy Habit Medical Center, located right inside Healthy Habit Health Foods. And look who's back, checking in with us with Better Being Company, Solaray, Cal, Zhao, the whole team there. Nikita Austen is back with us here, folks. Senior Director, Global Training and Education at Better Being Company, born in Europe and raised as an Olympic-trained gymnast and competitive bodybuilder. Nikita applied her discipline in the wellness space early on in her career with her education in biochemistry and nutrition and 13 years of experience in the natural products industry. Nikita understands the game, folks. She understands the market and combines science with fun in her training. And if you missed our last episode, which was 193, I highly suggest you go check that one out, where we talked about magnesium, sharp mind, and brain power. And it was actually a part 2 discussion, really, on magnesium. The episode before that was also about magnesium, the Think tablets, brain health, and much more. Nikita, welcome back.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Dayon. I am stoked to be back per usual.
Likewise, we always have a great discussion, and our customers always appreciate you. So today we're going to be highlighting the microbiome. There's a certain line of products here, and is it through Cal or Solaray that we're going to be highlighting here?
So it's definitely Solaray. When you think
Solaray. Of
probiotics,
course, look at the hat.
Solaray,
How could I miss it? Look at
well,
the hat
you
right
got the
there.
hat on, first of all, and the shirt. But even without that, when you think about one of the leaders in the probiotic sector, it's absolutely Solaray. And so that's when we talk probiotics, we'll probably most likely be always talking Solaray.
Perfect. So let's start from the very top, like a 10,000 foot bird's eye view on the microbiome and probiotics in general. People have heard of them, for decades now, but we're going to be highlighting a specific, it's a dense formula which has the pro, and the postbiotics. But let's talk about that in general. What are probiotics? Why are they so important for human health?
I think I might have even said this on one of the other episodes before, especially if we talked about magnesium. But people always ask me, if you had to pick one supplement to take every day, what's the one that you would choose? And not
Yeah.
just for me, Nikita, meaning like any person, any woman or man, just a person who wants to take a supplement. I usually have a top four, and in that four is magnesium, which is why I'm saying I probably mentioned that in the last one. In that, though, one, if not my number one in the four, is actually probiotics.
Got it.
And the reason why I lean towards that is, what does the word probiotic mean? Where does that come from? Where's the original meaning of it? Pro means for, and biotic means life.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think probiotic, you think for life. And when you think about us as humans, when we go to another planet and we want to know if there's life on that planet, what are we looking for? We are looking for bacteria. That's how we know if there's life on that planet. That's that probiotics. You know, that's bacteria ultimately. So
Yeah.
when you go back to the human body and the connection there, your body is more bacteria than anything else combined together. So scientifically, I would say your body is 10 times more bacteria or bacterial cells than just the human cells alone.
Yeah.
So you are more bacteria than anything else. If that's the case, and your body is made out of bacteria, and bacteria is for your life,
Yeah.
then I would say, yeah, you should probably be consuming good bacteria and probiotics, whether that would be the kombucha that you buy or throughout the day you drink, the kimchi that you have with your dinner or your fermented fruits and vegetables. That's something you, Dr. Dayon, know very well, like
Mm-hmm.
myself, coming from Eastern Europe, we have fermented vegetables everywhere,
Yeah.
from the pickles and peppers and sauerkraut and everything in between.
And
That's
yogurt. A lot of
often
yogurt. Yogurt's that's
yogurt.
it too.
And that's like we eat that every day with our
Yeah.
meals. It's not like a
Yeah.
special
Yeah.
occasion.
Right.
That's like part of the diet, right?
Yeah.
In fact, you guys, if anyone on this call listening has been to Hungary before or even to Serbia, we have open markets where you buy your fruits, you buy your vegetables, you buy your meat and cheese, and you buy your fermented foods. It's just as big of a section
Right.
as it would be anything else. You want to consume bacteria every day, especially good bacteria, because your body's made out of it. It's what encodes our cells. It's what affects our immune system, our mood. We talk about neurotransmitters being made inside of your gut.
Yeah.
Your gut is where a lot of your immune system is, and it's where a lot of the bacteria is in your body. So to sum that up in the circle here,
Yep.
for me, my favorite thing to take every day is a probiotic. It's good bacteria for your body. Your body's made out of a lot of bacteria, and we constantly have bad bacteria coming in. Stress, environmental factors, food. We need to make sure we're always leveling and bringing up that good bacteria. I would take a probiotic every single day.
Well, that was like the best explanation I've heard of why we need a probiotic. That was
I
great.
mean, it
Pro-life. That's
just
so true.
makes sense. If your body's made out of it and it affects everything in your body,
Yep.
you probably be replenishing that every day. I always use that comparison with water. We say that our water or our body's what, about 70% water. Okay, well,
Yes.
I should drink water every single day because my body needs it to run. And I need to replenish that every day. I can't just like miss a day, otherwise I feel it. Same thing comes with bacteria. And I just want to clarify the probiotic is the bacteria. The word microbiome, by definition, is the collection of all the living microorganisms in your body. So your body has a microbiome that is all the bacteria in general, and what you take to feed that bacteria are probiotics.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
So you feed your microbiome by doing that. And Solaray's probiotic line that we're talking about or going to talk about is called the microbiome, but instead of an MI as a scientific name, it's the MY. We spell it microbiome because we have many different formulas that are designed for my body, whether that's the woman's body, the men's body, 50 plus for your colon, your mood, your active lifestyle. The different formulas kind of fit the different needs that you have.
Perfect. Yeah. I mean, before I do a screen share to pull up the microbiome line, did you want to add anything else to what some myths or some things that people might not know about probiotics? Like you talk about why they're so important, but I think that's worth repeating. Like they outnumber our cells 10 to 1. So they literally, we have to make sure that they're satisfied, the bacteria in our body, before almost our own cells. It's crazy, but 10 to 1. So it's super important, right? Anything else
I
that we
mean,
might have missed before we dive into the specific line here, I want to highlight.
oh gosh, there's so many great things with probiotics I could talk
Yeah,
about, but I think ultimately,
they're
I
important.
like to keep it simple and consumable. And that's why it's like your body's made out of it. I know you don't see it right when you look at your skin or you don't think about it, but between your nose, your mouth, your eyes, your skin, your gut, your body is made out of it. It's really important. And when you don't take it, or let's say you're not taking it frequently and your body is more dominant, let's say in some of those bad bacterias, because you might not think that it's related right away to your microbiome or your bacteria, but it's when you start to get a lot of diseases that sprout out and grow and your mood and your weight is off. All these things, again, are highly tied to your microbiome, highly tied to your gut. And
Yeah.
so we want to take care of that. And when we do, we notice a huge difference. Especially even, let's just talk about one of the biggest things that people take probiotics for because they feel an immediate effect is colon health.
Mm.
When people are not regular and they're having a difficulty with becoming regular, taking a probiotic is kind of one of the best ways to add something to your regimen that could really support colon and digestive health overall. So, whether you're taking, let's even say, an antibiotic, which can often cause you to not be able to go to the restroom as well, but
Yeah.
it's also killing a lot of your bacteria. Taking a probiotic can give you immediate benefits that you can feel right away, and you almost don't even want to get off of them. And quite frankly, it's not one of those supplements that I would be like, I don't think you could take that every day. I absolutely think you could take a probiotic every day the same way that you would a multivitamin,
Yeah.
right? The multivitamin's giving you nutrients for your body that you need. The probiotics are doing the same thing. It's feeding your body with the nutrients, the bacteria that it needs. So it's a
Right.
critical thing that should be part of your daily
Yeah.
regimen no matter what. I mean, it could benefit everybody in all
Right.
different.
Well, then those bacteria, after consuming like the prebiotics, which feed the probiotics, they
Yeah,
produce nutrients on the back end. Literally,
they
they're
do.
producing and regulating inflammation if we
Hmm.
give them that. So
Totally.
that's super important. So thanks for highlighting that. And now I'm going to do a quick
Yeah,
screen share here,
sure.
straight from It looks like Solaray.com. Yep, Solaray.com. And then they have their microbiome collection, like Nikita was saying, MY Microbiome. So we
Absolutely.
have the men's formula. We have a pre and postnatal. Can you see my screen, Nikita?
Yes, I can
We
see it great.
we have the
Yeah.
urgent care. Then we even have like adult 50 plus weight formula, a bunch of things going on. It looks like we have
Mhm.
8 total in the line. So where do you want to start us off with here? We have some biohacker preferred labels here. What's that referring to?
The if you've heard of the term biohacking,
Yep,
or the biohacking community, I
definitely.
think what we were kind of referencing with biohacking is how can I take a supplement, add something new to my lifestyle, whether it be cold plunging, sauna, wellness, food, what can I do to really, quote, hack into my body and try to make it healthier, slow down the aging process, fight something from coming into play. It's almost this idea of like you're hacking the system. You're trying to prevent the aging, the deterioration, the whatever it is that's causing the age, the muscle, any type of decline. And you're trying to add something else that, again, is going to slow and improve the process. So,
Yeah.
supplements, like I said, sauna, cold plunging, meditation, yoga, there's so many things that fall within that biohacking realm or space. One other thing there are going to be many things I'm going to talk to here, but one thing I do want to mention
Yeah.
that's critical when it comes to taking a probiotic in a supplement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We talked about probiotics in kombucha, that's a liquid form, kimchi, yogurt, that's in a food base. When I'm talking about probiotics in a supplement, and not just supplement, but I want to specify pill formatting. So usually in that case, it's going to be a capsule.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one very important aspect to understand about probiotics and pills. When you take supplements, usually let's think of like a multivitamin, an herb, any of the standard other supplements that we take.
Yeah.
It's in a capsule, usually you digest it or you consume it. It often hits the stomach acid, the capsule does. The acid kind of breaks that capsule apart, and those nutrients come out of the capsule, and then they usually
Right.
get, absorbed into the body at that point. When it comes to a probiotic, okay, most of your bacteria in your body, the majority of it is housed in your gut, your intestines. That's underneath your stomach. What I'm
Uh-huh.
saying here is that you need a type of capsule that can withstand the stomach acid
Yeah.
in the body and not break apart there, but let that capsule stay fully intact, almost like a little yellow submarine that's going farther and farther down the body. You don't want that to break apart. You want it to stay fully intact. So that way when it gets to the intestine, past the stomach, or at least that's where it's connected to, it only opens up in the intestine so that the capsule dissolves there
Yeah.
and those probiotics make their way throughout your colon or throughout your intestine.
Uh-huh.
Okay. With again a multivitamin or herb or B vitamin, it doesn't need to get there in order for it to be beneficial.
Right.
It can
Right.
break apart in stomach acid, it can absorb in the body. But a probiotic is such a fragile type of supplement. This is live bacteria that is very fragile. And if it hits stomach acid, majority of the strains and bacteria that you're buying in these products can die in the stomach acid. You're not getting the full effect from the product. So when you're buying a probiotic in a capsule,
Yeah.
you want to often look for a word called enteric. And
Okay.
different companies use it. So, whichever company you have available, if you can find the word enteric, what enteric means and represents by definition is ultimately that it can withstand the stomach acid, protect the nutrients from the stomach acid,
Yeah.
and only open up in the intestine where, in this case, it needs to be from the digestive process. Okay. So enteric is guaranteeing that. And you may see the word enteric in other supplements too, like, for example, garlic or even fish oils. If you've ever taken a fish oil and all of a sudden you kind of get this burp up feeling that's fishy and you're
Yeah.
like, ooh, why do I have that? Well, what's happening is the capsule is hitting the stomach acid. It's breaking apart. The oil, the fish oil, is hitting the acid in the stomach and it's shooting it back up like an acid reflux.
Uh-huh.
If it's enteric protected, it doesn't open up in the stomach acid. It does get down farther to the intestine, and then you don't have that same burp up. So there's other supplements that will still use this technology,
Okay.
but it's critical for probiotics to survive to get to where we want it to go. So you want to look for enteric. In this case, you'll see that on the entire Solaray line
Hmm.
of microbiome probiotics. It's going to say enteric shield. Enteric is the standardized word. Shield is just our version of the capsule, saying it we're shielding from stomach acid, absorbing it in the intestine, where you want those bacteria and probiotics to take flight and really be utilized and absorbed. Okay. So if I taught you nothing today, the two things I'd want you to walk away with, or if you forgot everything else, I should say, it's that probiotic means for life. This is for your life to keep you healthy. And the second part is that in a supplement with probiotics, when it doesn't have food or other things protecting it,
Yeah.
you want to look for the word enteric to allow it to bypass the acid and absorb where you need to in the intestines.
Amazing, Nikita. Great
Be the two
breakdown.
most important things I think you could take
That's
away.
huge. Yeah, you nailed it. You don't want them to just get wiped out in that harsh acidic stomach environment, right? We want to make sure they get to where they need to go in the colon, small intestine, and all the way downstream through the GI. And you can
Exactly.
see that right on here, the enteric shield. And
Mhm.
that's in across all the microbiome products, correct? You could see the
Yes.
enteric shield on the front
Yes.
of each of them. So thanks for explaining that. That's super important. Where would someone start? How's this prebiotic fiber going to be on the menu for somebody versus, let's say, just the general men's formula for a guy in his 30s, like myself, for example? Right. Where do you start on that?
Yeah. And just so you know, in the capsuled line, in the
Yeah.
solar microbiome capsules, we do add prebiotics in there. Okay. And just as a refresh, a prebiotic is food for your probiotic.
Yeah.
So I always think of like your intestines, where all your bacteria and your probiotics are, as your garden. And if you have a garden and you got the flowers in there, or you got your basil growing, what do you do, or what do you add to your garden to keep it growing, keep it healthy? You add fertilizer.
Yeah.
That's what gives it the nutrients it needs to continue to flourish. Your prebiotics are your fertilizer for your gut. It keeps them flourishing, it keeps them going. Now, yes, they are added in the capsules. So it is added in there as a benefit. But you did mention that we have a prebiotic powder even on its own.
Yeah.
Why take, let's say, the prebiotic powder versus here in the capsule?
Right.
If you're taking that prebiotic in that powder form, you're going to get a much larger dose of it.
Got it.
And that larger dose is going to, pack its own punch there of great amount of prebiotics for the gut. Anytime you're putting something in a capsule, it's always harder to put more of something in, obviously, than it would be in a powder. Or if you take this prebiotic powder and we put it in capsules, it'd probably be 6 capsules once you actually
Right. Right.
utilize the same amount. So this prebiotic powder is an amazing blend of different types of prebiotics. You can see there's a potato starch, there's a mushroom prebiotic blend, there's a different fruit extract, you've got oranges and grapefruit prebiotics. You have a whole different blend of different prebiotic strains. And again, that's really good for those that are wanting to focus on their gut health in general, whether that would be, we hear people talk about leaky gut a lot of
Right.
the times.
Yeah.
And what is leaky gut? It's kind of when you think of your gut having almost these little holes, this little separation where things are going in and out of the gut. That's not a good thing. You want to be able to make sure you have a strong gut where we call them like these junctions, these tight junctions. And if you can see me, I'm putting my fingers and my hands together. And when I do that, I'm almost creating this tight junction where they get, they're making sure that there's no holes. They're making sure
Yeah.
that it's strong, to have that strong gut lining. We often recommend collagen for that too, because it's supportive. Prebiotics will help create that stronger gut lining to really protect. So those that are specifically struggling with gut, colon, that sort of realm of concerns, adding the prebiotic powder to your regimen will give you a much larger punch of those prebiotics really being supportive. And it also is, if you're familiar with the word FODMAP,
Yeah.
or word, it's more of a like an acronym, I should say. It is FODMAP friendly. And when you learn about FODMAP, it's basically there's different types of foods that can cause people to have gas, bloating, digestive upset, things like that. Their stomach's usually more sensitive to that. This is FODMAP friendly, meaning we avoided those types of prebiotics and those fibers that might cause that digestive upset. So this is a
Right.
really clean, nice blend with a lot of great organic ingredients in it.
Pretty cool word here, the potato dat. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
potato dot.
Potato dat,
Mhm.
Solanum tuberosum resistant starch. It's a blend of resistant starches, which
Mhm.
people have heard of. Like you can, like for example, if you make rice or potatoes, boil them and then put them right in the fridge, that can increase like their resistant starch content of certain foods.
Absolutely.
Why would you want to do that? Because they become more like a prebiotic then at that point. The more resistant of a starch something is, food is, it's going to feed those gut bacteria better in the microbiome. So, and then what's the benefit of doing that? What happens then, Nikita, if we can improve our prebiotic status?
Yeah.
Our gut bugs will be happier, right? And then what?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, so the
the
one of the
tight
things
junctions, too, you said.
exactly, it's like creating a better gut lining,
Yeah.
certainly, which you don't realize how important that is until it becomes a problem. And then again, a lot of these stomach digestive upsets that we hear about all the time,
Right.
people coming in for. The other thing is, again, prebiotics feed the probiotics. More
Yes.
good bacteria going through the body, circulating around means better immune system, means ultimately, with a healthier gut can come better mood, can come better weight management. You know that your weight is highly correlated to your gut. If your gut is off and you don't either A, have the good type of bacteria in there that helps balance insulin, balance your gut, balance your mood. And there's actually, sorry, I'm kind of talking everywhere here because I'm
No, it's
excited.
good.
I was going to say there's a lot of studies done on people that are considered overweight and or obese. And when you look at the gut microbiome for somebody who's overweight versus somebody who's very healthy or more fit, there's either A, very different strains that are thriving and moving throughout there. B, there's a lot of strains that are important for weight management that are almost not even present
Mm.
in a person's body that is considered a overweight or obese. So we need a lot of these different strains in this bacteria in our gut because it's balancing your weight, it's balancing your gut, it's balancing a lot. And one other piece that I'll just quickly mention, and this will be for another call to go in depth,
Yeah.
it's prebiotic feeds probiotic. That food for the probiotic creates a third product considered like a metabolite or a little end product, something that, let's say, the probiotic kind of excretes out.
Yes.
That is called a postbiotic,
Yep.
right? And that in itself has a ton of benefits. We think of like butyric acid, if you have ever heard of butyric acid. If not, that's a fun one to research.
Yep.
But with butyric acid production, we're also looking at better energy levels. We're looking at better digestion, immune. There's so many things. So it's this domino effect. Prebiotics make your probiotics grow healthy, which is supporting every aspect or many aspects of your body, and in turn, creating a product called a postbiotic, which is also in itself creating its own benefits and supporting the body. So, really great here. We do have two different ones in Solaray. There's a prebiotic flavored option, which is this
Uh-huh.
delicious tangerine flavor. And there's also an unflavored option. So if you don't want that added flavor, and the unflavored option actually has a few more ingredients
Okay.
in it, a few more types of prebiotics that the flavored one doesn't have because, of course, you add flavor that takes up more space. We were able to, in place for the unflavored one, add a few more ingredients in there. So you have two different options. And even the unflavored, just so you know, maybe is a little bit acidic, maybe more of a citrus kind of flavor
Yeah.
because of the ingredients in there, but it's nothing pungent, it's nothing bad that would make you, not enjoy it. But you have to each their own. I do love the tangerine flavor though. I have to say it is absolutely delicious.
Well, you definitely answer my question on what's the benefit, like overall now, looking at everything of improving our prebiotic status of our diet.
Yeah.
And so tighter gut junctions, better gut health, less bloating, mental health benefits, better metabolism, like you said. And that's so true. There's tons of research looking at that on fit individuals versus overweight, and they have a totally different gut profile. So leaner body mass, better mental health, better energy, better digestion, lower rates of cancer, I would even add, because of those postbiotic metabolites they're called when they're producing things like butyric acid. the back end of like the final part of the process is what the bacteria themselves produce to protect us, which is what Nikita was just referring to. So lower colon cancer rates, less inflammation in the body, less autoimmune diseases and arthritic type things. So all kinds of amazing stuff from that. So the other cool thing about powders is look at the other ingredients. It's pretty clean. None. So that's one of the
Yeah.
benefits of powders. Do you want to add to that? Why that's a better option sometimes than tablets with tons of fillers and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's hard, right? When you make a tablet, you got to run it through a machine
Yeah.
or a capsule. So there's different types of agents that they add to, whether that's lubricate the machinery, whether that's get the powder from not, clumping, working. There's a ton of different things there where sometimes powders can just kind of be what it is, which is just the ingredients that you want. And at most, you might see like a silica powder, which silica added in there, which is actually a good ingredient for your nails. You may know that as, and even your hair,
Yeah.
is there to be like an anti-clumping agent. So, whenever you buy a powder and then you open it, you're like, oh no, it's like kind of either rock hard
You're
or
right.
it's clumped. At times you might see that, but we don't even have that in the powder. It's just purely the prebiotic ingredients that you want mixed together in a powder. And even if you don't take it every single day, that's okay. It's part of your like regimen. It's part of the things that you do to add to your body to feel better overall.
Again, folks, solaray.com. That's solar, SOLARAY.com. Give us a 30-second take home. Let's see what you can do in 30 seconds, Nikita.
No, I'm just kidding. So here we go. 30 seconds again to recap it. Probiotic means for life. This is to help your body live, thrive, and function optimally. You want probiotics every single day in your diet. Also, when you are buying capsules, which is where people majorly, let's say, spend their money when it comes to probiotics, is in capsule. You want it to have that enteric protection on it so that it can bypass stomach acid, open up in the intestine where it needs to go. And again, the Solaray ones have the prebiotics in there. They have the probiotics. The whole collection is vegan friendly, made without gluten, made without soy. If you have any of these types of, concerns, we're clean, ready to go. You can buy them at Healthy Habit, so you can find them there. Dr. Dayon can definitely help you if you're looking for them as well. And it's just a clean, great product that should be part of your daily regimen.
Always appreciate your time, Nikita. Thanks for coming on for episode 217, and I look forward to our next one.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Dayon.